What's up, everybody? Welcome to Facts of Life podcast with Gideon. Over here, we talk about the social life, culture, and the change. More people than ever are now living their best life, going on that vacation, stepping into cool stuff online, cutting negative people and energy out. On this show, I sit down to discuss the ideas, the opportunities, and the strategies that they're taking advantage of so the rest of us can do the same.
Welcome to Fact of Life. This is my very first episode on this session. And I just want to use this opportunity to say I'm really excited and intrigued, actually, about how far I've come and how far I am hoping to go from here. This is my second podcast channel, or podcast studio, if you want to say it. My first podcast is a video podcast / audio called Africa Chat. You can find Africa Chat on YouTube. You can find Africa Chat on Instagram as well. And I have the audio version of my Africa Chat podcast on Apple Music, Apple Radio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and many other platforms. You would be able to get Africa Chat. Just wanted to use this opportunity to explain what Fact of Life podcast is about. This podcast is mainly dedicated to myself. There's been some things that I wanted to express as a person over the past few years. Of course, one of it or some of it is what I'm doing with Africa Chat, which mainly talks about Black people, Africans. I'm an African myself. My name is Gideon. I didn't want to introduce myself because I feel like I had already introduced myself so many times in my previous episodes on my other podcasts. My first name is Gideon. My last name is Obeng. Obeng is a Ghanaian West African name. The meaning of Obeng is someone powerful, someone smart. I could be wrong, but that's what I was actually explained to by my dad, because he gave me this name. My dad is Obeng as well. Back to why I am trying to open up this second channel or second podcast. Like I stated before, I want to use the opportunity to talk about myself, talk about my life, how I understand the world to be, how I understand how the society is. I have been blessed. I want to say that, to be able to have the opportunity to grow up a little bit. I was born in Ghana. I grew up in Ghana. I left Ghana as in my late teens, and then I migrated to America, where I lived in Riverside with my family, and then I relocated over from Riverside to Virginia, and I have been living in Virginia, Northern Virginia, ever since till today. So, I feel like Africa Chat as a whole is categorized to talk about Africa and Africans and what the goal is, and the step towards freedom, future, how to minimize racism, how to actually just paint a different picture of what Africa is. In this podcast show, Fact of Life, it's not me trying to tell people what life is about, but it's actually me telling my facts of life, how I understand how the world is, how I see everything, and how I think it's supposed to be. And then also somewhere along the line, of course, everything is dynamic. I will change it, maybe add a little bit of my story. And I don't know, who knows where this is going to go, but I feel like I've been harboring this inside of me for a very long time. And now's the time to just, why not? That's just the phase that I'm in. The phase that I'm in is why not? And yes, why not? So this episode is actually entitled Why Not? Like, why not do it? I've been feeling this boiling inside of me. I feel like I started off of this as a writing a blog, and I just fell off because it was just too much time for me to sit and type, and I'm not that fast of a typer, so it was just taking so much time. My first article I was able to publish took me about 3 months for me to be able to finish just 3 pages, 3 or 4 pages. So I just figured it was just going to take so much time. So why not just use it as a form of an audio podcast? I have I have stories to tell. I have things I want to let off my chest. I may come out as sometimes talking to myself more than I'm talking to other people, but I'm just talking to everybody that wishes to listen. And I'm pretty sure some of the things that I will come up to say will be so random and not planned, but I also know that some of these things that I will end up saying will directly connect to other people. And if it doesn't connect to you, hey, feel free to check my other channel out. Like I said, it's called Africa Chat. And if that doesn't connect to you as well, then um, sometimes certain things are not always meant to be. So I do appreciate everybody that's taking their time to listen to me. This first episode basically is not so much that I want to talk about. If you want to hear more, if you want to get the idea behind exactly what this is, like I've already explained it, it will be kind of mostly more of a freestyle of me talking about life. A scope of what I'm trying to do here is there's so many factors, there's so many chapters that I'm looking at: how I grew up, how my childhood was, who I really am, how I feel about the society, how I feel about Africans, how I feel about um, the world. I want to own up to my faith in God. And and also I wanted to talk. I will be talking about my newfound faith in God. I've always believed in God, but now I'm actually very much closer to God, if I want to say, than I've ever been before. And then just so many things that is going on in my life that I don't understand. There's so many things that I'm excited for the future. Basically, I am really excited for the future. And then I wish there's so many things that I know right now that I knew back then, and maybe 5, 10 years ago, and maybe things would have been different. But hey, this is the fact of life. There are certain things that it's not meant to happen at a certain time, but at a whole different time or a whole different era. And then that's why there's this saying that says that whatever will be. So whatever will be will be. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless of what you go through. And I'm seeing some of those things like I'm seeing real life. Some guy said real life 3D or 4K picture of some of the things that I never thought will ever happen to me in life. And then I'm seeing some of the things that I'm personally actually changing as I'm getting older, as I'm getting wiser. Like the saying goes again, a year older, a year wiser. As you get older, you get smarter because you get a lot of experiences. And then, man, you will not believe it. There's so many odd moments in my life. That's what I call the odd moment. Like there's certain things that I never thought was going to happen. And there's certain people I never expected to do certain things. And then it's all happening right now, right? And then I'm like wow. So there's really nothing new under the sun, like they used to say. And that's really true. It's just that it's just I didn't notice, or I didn't realize, or it just never occurred to me that it is right now. So it's just there's so many things that's happening that I will be talking about in my this new podcast, The Fact of Life. I have a written down memoir or whatever. It's like a backstory, on WordPress. I will kind of come back here on maybe one of these days, one of these episodes, and read it out, or just kind of glance through it on my screen and just recollect what I wrote and what it was about. So thank you for tuning in today. I'm really excited about this, guys. Share, tell somebody about it. This guy has opened another channel. And the podcast show is called Africa Chat. I'm sorry, Fact of Life. I will keep making that mistake because I have another channel called the Africa Chat. But this channel or this podcast is called Facts of Life, and it's going to be revealing. Just that simple. It's going to be revealing. I'm going to be surprising myself as well too as I go. So, like I said, grow with me. Let's grow together. And over time, I may open up a live audio, live session to get people to come on and talk. Maybe like who knows? Like I know this world is full of people. We have about 8 billion people in this world right now, and I know stories overlap. I know words overlap. I know ideas overlap. I know as I'm sitting here right now talking and ranting and recording stuff, I know there's somebody somewhere in the world doing the exact same thing that I'm doing right now, right here. So, like I said, my story, I know I'm from Ghana, so I know there's some people from Ghana that probably have like worse, or, I'm not saying my life is that bad. My life is not bad. I'm excited. I'm in a really good place. It's just that there's certain things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the bad things. I want to talk about the happy moments. And I want to talk about me, my current me in 2023, how I see the world from when I was like 19, 20, or 15 or 8. How I see the world versus the 34-year-old Gideon Obeng from Ghana, West Africa, that lives in America, Northern Virginia. So from that transition coming up to now, there's a wide range of things that I've seen, that I've gone through, that I'm doing right now. It just busts my own mind, and I'm sure it will bust your mind as well. So, hey, not to talk so long, I'm going to leave this episode here. Once again, thank you for listening. If you've listened to this point, God bless you. And I really appreciate you as a listener. I really appreciate you as a friend. And you've been listening to Fact of Life. And this is just basically my first episode titled Why Not? So tell everybody about it. I will come back with more. I will come back with another one. Stay tuned, and thank you for joining. So catch you guys later. Bye-bye.